flight 45.
You headed home? Our guide told us someone was...
Leave me the fuck alone.
Gaze into your lovely eyes of...
She's in fashion. She's an American Bridget Bardot.
Is discouraged.
Oh, God, here they come.
Hotel, and then we'll get you to your suite.
Amazing.
Well, how about we get you a daiquiri?
I'm in desperate need of a massage.
I'll see what we can do.
Jet Class's character Shane Patton is waiting for his flight at Kahului Airport in Maui. He talks to an elderly couple, Mark and Tana Taming, and reveals that he recently went to the island's White Lotus resort for his honeymoon. They say someone was discovered deceased at the resort. He snubs them when they inquire about his wife's whereabouts, turns to go and looks out the window to watch a crate filled with human remains being carried into an aircraft. Shane boards a ship to the White Lotus with his wife, Rachel Alexandra Daddario. A week prior, they are joined by Mark, Steve Zahn, and Nico Mosbacher, Connie Britton, along with their kid, Queen, Fred Hetchinger, who is 16, and Olivia Sydney Sween, a sophomore at college, who has brought her friend, Paula Brittany O'Grady. The girls make fun of other visitors in order to keep themselves entertained. Tanya McCoy, Jennifer Coolidge, a middle-aged, extremely tense lady who has brought her mother's ashes with her, is another new visitor. The manager, Armand Murray Bartlett, his pregnant staff, Lani Jolene Paddy, and spa manager Belinda Lindsay, Natasha Rothwell, greet them. As the day goes on, Lani becomes aware that her baby is due soon, but she chooses not to tell Armand since she is afraid of losing her job on the first day. After his parents paid for their honeymoon, Shane is irritated to learn that they were not assigned the special room. He grumbles to Armand, who says they never reserved the suite which is being occupied by a couple from Germany. Rachel is irritated by this as she believes Michael is not having fun on their honeymoon. Rachel engages Paula and Olivia in conversation, but they make fun of her listicle writing career and make her feel awkward. Mark thinks he has testicular cancer and is waiting for the result of his test the next day. He chooses to spend more time with Queen, who is engrossed in his phone and tablet, as advised by his wife. They ultimately choose to go snorkeling. Tanya is unable to have a spa treatment, but Belinda soothes her by performing a ceremonial chant. That evening, Armand learns that Lani is giving back at his place of employment. Armand complains that he didn't know Lani was pregnant and that she was just overweight as he had medical professionals treat her. The doctor finally calls Matt, but when they lose their phone connection, he is left without a response. Despite the scheduling issue, Shane and Rachel decide to ignore it and romance at their suite.
Do you want to do some ASMR?
Fire?
No, we're just...
Paula, Brittany O'Grady, and Olivia Sydney Swing, dissatisfied with the vacation-use marijuana that Paula smuggled in, they are halted before they can take ketamine by Nicole, Connie Britton, who joyfully reports that Max, Steve Zahn test results were negative. Because of this, Mark feels like he has a fresh lease on life and is in a much brighter mood. In order to break 5 years sobriety, Armand Murray Bartlett confesses to Belinda Natasha Rothwell that he feels bad about not working about Lani's pregnancy and that he has been tempted to drink. Rachel Alexandra Daddario is annoyed by Shane's jet-classy persistent pursuit of the pineapple suite. He finds out that the German couple Armand described staying in the room is departing one day sooner than Armand had stated when he interacts with them. Shane phones his mother for assistance and proudly informs Rachel that Armand lied. Shane is irritated because Rachel is supposed to be on vacation when she gets an offer to write an article. She worries that she will lose the connection she has made as a freelancer, but Shane assures her that they do not want the money and that she is no longer required to work. Rachel, distressed, goes up to Nicole for career guidance. After advising Rachel not to quit her job in case her marriage doesn't work out, Nico becomes upset and outraged when she discovers that Rachel published a condescending piece about her, which depresses Rachel. Tanya, Jennifer Coolidge, approaches Olivia and Paula after they take ketamine on the beach and asks for suggestions on where to scatter her mother's ashes. After becoming frightened, the girls flee, abandoning their drug-filled rucksack. After Tanya hands over the bag, it reaches Armand, who succumbs to temptation and consumes a few of the narcotics. He says that nothing was turned in when Olivia questions him about the bag later. Since his own father passed away when he was about Queen's age, Mark wants to bond with Queen, Fred Hetchinger, and urges him to learn to scuba dive alongside him. Queen nods grudgingly. When Olivia questions Paula about Kai, a hotel employee, she acts foolish. Olivia notices Paula sneaking away to spend time with Kai. Rachel enrages Shane by telling him she would accept the task. Tanya approaches Belinda and shows interest in funding a wellness company with her since she is so appreciative of her service. Mark is shocked to learn during a conversation with his uncle that his father passed away from AIDS rather than cancer. In addition to admitting that he was having relations with males, his father did not want anybody to inform him until the right moment. When Queen wakes up early in the morning from his beachside nap, he sees whales spouting around. Queen Fred Hetchinger wakes up on the beach to find his phone, iPad, and Nintendo Switch ruined by the rising waves. His parents tell him he must wait until they get home when he urges them to purchase him a new phone immediately. Steve Zahn's character Mark is still upset after learning that his father was bisexual. When Belinda, played by Natasha Rothwell, informs her son that Tanya, played by Jennifer Coolidge, wants to invest in a health company, her son advises her to take the offer since he believes the White Lotus is squandering her skills. Shane jealously disputes that their relationship is based only on pleasure when Rachel Alexandra Daddario asks him if it is.
No, hey, all right, look.
Give me the cahoot.
It was cool. We went.
Just lift it!
Question. She thought I had. Just hold my nose and. Well.
Later, he requests that Armand Murray Bartlett set up a romantic supper to make up for the sweet problem. Without disclosing that Tanya, Jennifer Coolidge, will also be there to scatter her mother's ashes, Armand proposes a boat excursion at sunset. Shane is perplexed and enraged by Tanya's belief that he and Rachel are aboard the yacht to help her. She stops the meal to give a very personal eulogy full of scathing criticism for her mother. Shane and Rachel are alarmed when Tanya abruptly loses her temper and starts acting almost hysterically.
You could have told me that earlier, Quinn.
Can I ask you a question?
Later, Shane tells Rachel that Almond planned the terrible meal. Mark drinks excessively as a result and strikes up uncountable discussion with a number of visitors. In his conversation with Almond, a queer man, he shows interest in having relations with the guys. Mark clumsily turns down Armand's approach and then goes to supper with his family. After following Paula Brittany O'Grady to a room that evening, Olivia Sidney Sweeney witnesses her having an affair with Kai Kikoa Scott Kikumano. As Kai Kikoa Scott Kikumano tells Paula Brittany O'Grady more about native Hawaiian culture and how his family was forcibly removed from their home by the White Lotus to construct the hotel, Paula watches the sunrise at the beach. Olivia Sidney Sweeney witnesses her return to the apartment. Mark, Steve Zahn is questioned by Nicole, Connie Britton over his behavior and mental state the previous day. After 5 years of abstinence, Armand Murray Bartlett admits to Belinda Natasha Rothwell that he has relapsed. She suggests that he stop using the medications. During breakfast, Tanya, played by Jennifer Coolidge, informs Olivia and Paula that she gave Armand their drug-filled backpack. Despite Armand's earlier claim that it had not been located, they go up to Armand and ask him to return it. When Armand tries to get it back, Shane, Jack Lassie, confronts him once more and insists on speaking with his supervisor. Armand returns the bag to Olivia and Paula after taking the medicines in a fit of rage. Shane is taken by surprise when his mother, Kitty, played by Molly Shannon, shows up at the resort. Rachel, Alexandra Daddario, is not happy, but Shane is. Tanya runs across Greg, John Greaves, a man attempting to enter her room on her way back. They had a nice chat and he says he had assumed it was his room. Tanya cancels her appointment with Belinda to talk about the wellness company since they decide to have dinner together. Disappointed is Belinda, who had prepared a business strategy. Olivia approaches Kai that evening and introduces herself, keeping her relationship with Paola a secret. She makes a point of flirting with him. Shane brings up Rachel's career at dinner and Kitty advises that she follow her passion for charitable work. When Rachel says she doesn't want to be a trophy wife, Kitty brushes this off, saying there is nothing wrong with being a trophy wife. Tanya discovers during her date with Greg that he is employed for the Bureau of Land Management, not Black Lives Matter as she had assumed. They enjoy themselves in her room after supper. After inviting Dillon, Lucas Gage, to his office, Armand confesses his attraction and proposes that they use drugs and engage in a relationship. Shane, meantime, finds out that he was given a phone number when he attempts to reach Armand's employer. He requests that Belinda locate Armand on his behalf. When she shows him to his office, they are both startled to see him giving Dillon an aninger. When she shows him to his office, they are both startled to see him giving Dillon an anilingers. Happy that he has the power to dismay Armand, Shane turns to leave.
Well, I didn't. You owe me.
Is that the face you make when you...
I gotta get some water.
Tell me.
After
That's why she's hitting on you.
each of this.
I really like you. I can help you take it.
The context. It was the worst period of my...
To unwind from the stress, and you bring it up again?
Paola Brittany O'Grady is disturbed when Kai Kekowa's Kikumano tells her in bed that Olivia Sydney Sweeney was flirting with him. She is disappointed by him by leaving their room and informing him that they probably won't see each other again because she is going shortly. Queen Fred Hettinger likes to paddle the outrigger boat that the villagers ask him to join at the beach. During their vacation, Nicole, Connie Britton, and Mark Steve Zahn discuss his adultery confession, which they decide to avoid. Following the events of the previous evening, Armand Murray Bartlett decides to transfer Shane, Jack Lassie, and Rachel Alexander Daddario into the Pineapple Suite for free in order to prevent any issues. Kitty Molly Shannon tells Rachel to be happy after downplaying her position and suggesting that she could end up being a trophy wife, which surprises Rachel. Mark irritates Paola, a mixed-race woman, during breakfast because they have different views on colonialism, privilege, and riches. Paola meets with Kai and offers him the combination to their safe, which includes a pair of pricey bracelets in order to pay for a lawsuit against the hotel, since she believes the most batches were profiting from the theft of his culture. Kai grudgingly consents to do it. Tanya is more focused on meeting with Greg, John Greaves, than Belinda, Natasha Rothwell, who wants to discuss their wellness company with her. Nicole decides to leave as the most watchers get ready to go scuba diving in the water. Yelling that she doesn't feel valued, Mark is forced to follow her, leaving Paula, Olivia, and Queen on the boat. Unaware that Kai is also there to take the bracelets, she heads back to the hotel. He assaults her while hiding his face. Mark shows up out of nowhere and attacks him. After giving him a facial punch, Kai leaves the room. When the cops show up, Armand offers to cover the most batches lodging as payment. Mark gains the respect of Queen and Olivia during dinner as they show their appreciation for his activities. Olivia believes Paula may have been involved, but she doesn't say anything. Greg wants to stay with Tanya despite her attempts to break things up. Armand and Belinda drink in disappointment as they consider what has happened over the past few days. Shortly after taking off her rings, Rachel informs Shane in their chamber that she made a grave mistake in getting hitched to him.
Happy, Rachel. I think I've made.
No.
I was?
Put out some fresh kiwi.
Did you find our medication?
Jumps out. He was in the room.
Trying to steal.
Of course.
The guys need a 6 for their... I don't even want a phone.
Well, you're getting it.
Well, got a key to the room. The only reason I know. Gotta protect my hot wife.
And you're so... I realize.
It's just nice to know you're not insecure, naive, very dark road. And you.
But they found the guy?
They did.
How's it going?
Queen Fred Hetchinger informs his family on the last day at the White Lotus that he intends to stay and join the local kayakers. His schooling is put in danger when Mark, Steve Zahn, and Nicole Connie Britton forbid him from staying. After hearing of Mark's attack, Shane, Jack Lassie, calls a family acquaintance to contact Armand's supervisor in an attempt to get revenge on Armand Newry Bartlett. For self-defense, he also receives a pineapple knife. Alexandra, the Darius character Rachel, acknowledges that she regrets being married to Shane and that she doesn't want to feel like a trophy wife. The most watchers are told by Armand that the jewelry has been found and that Kai, the offender, has been taken into custody. Paula Brittany O'Grady is uneasy about this, and Olivia Sydney Sweeney comes to the conclusion that she was correct to distrust her. Paula dodges the charges by saying Olivia is just as fortunate as the rest of her family when she confronts her. After speaking with Shane, Armand's supervisor contacts him. Armand returns to his office after realizing his work is done and chooses to consume the remaining narcotics with Dylan Lucas Gage. Tanya, Jennifer Coolidge, who wants to stay with Greg John Reese, chooses to leave money to Belinda Natasha Rothwell, but she chooses to quit their wellness company instead. Following Paola's repentance, Olivia and she make up. Shane departs for the bar following an uncomfortable meal during which Rachel reiterates her choice. Armand visits Shane's room well high and throws up in his bed. Armand needs to hide when Shane enters the room before he can depart. Shane is whining on the phone when he hears a sound. He enters the room where Armand is hiding with a fruit knife and unintentionally stabs him. Armand passes away from his wound as Shane leaves the room. The return aircraft of the guest is loaded with Armand's body. Shane is not taken into custody. He meets Rachel again at the airport. She has made the decision to be with him and be happy. The visitors get ready to go. As the most batches board their aircraft, Queen departs the airport. Queen paddles with the locals as the season comes to a close.
Did you have a good time? You're the best.
Spida negato.
A woman called Daphne, Megan Fay, speaks to several vacationers on a beach close to Taormina, Sicily, and mentions how much she enjoyed her holiday at a White Lotus resort. After that, She dives in the ocean and is startled to see a body. She rushes back to the shore to seek assistance. The concierge, Rocco Federico Franti, tells Valentina Sabrina Impacciatore, the manager of the White Lotus, that far the bodies were recovered from the beach. They were all visitors to their resort. Valentina had greeted the resort's newest visitor a week prior. This includes the De Grasso family, which includes Bat F. Murray Abraham, his son Dominic, Michael Imperioli, and his grandson Albie Adam DeMarco, Tanya, Jennifer Coolidge, who is currently married to Greg, John Greaves, but their relationship is tense, and married couple Ethan Wills.
Out in summary judgment, you still have to go.
You okay?
Don't be so ashamed. Father, he's truly such an adorable...
No, are you okay?
Will Sharp and Harper Spiller, Aubrey Plaza, who are traveling with Ethan's Brazilian college roommate Cameron Sullivan, Theo James, and his wife Daphne. Greg, who wanted a romantic holiday, is annoyed by Tanya's decision of her young secretary Portia, Holly Lou Richardson, so she tells her to stay in her room. Sex worker Lucia, Simona Tabasco, and her companion Mia Beatrice Grano are waiting for one of the visitors, Lucia's newest customer, to arrive at the pier. Even though Ethan insists that Cameron and Daphne are incredibly friendly, Harper finds them annoying. Harper's contempt increases over lunch, particularly once she finds out that Cameron and Daphne don't know much about international issues. Later, Harper visits her restroom, where Cameron reveals himself while changing clothes because the pair shares a room. Portia meets Albie by the pool because she is angry at Tanya's treatment of her. In addition to trying to mend his marriage following several infidelity scandals, Dominic must control Bat since he harasses numerous hotel staff members. Lucia enters the resort covertly that evening, eluding Valentina's attempt to exclude her. She meets with Dominic, her customer. While Mia remains in the bar, she befriends Giuseppe Federico Scribani Rossi, the resort's pianist. She tosses her drink in Giuseppe's face, nevertheless. Because he believes she is a prostitute, Ethan disregards Harper's story of Cameron exposing himself when they are spending time together in their room. Dominic engages in intimacy with Lucia in his room.
Buongiorno.
Sorry?
Are you okay?
Yeah, I just...
Did I?
She is that mad, and can we just...
For 53 years, the love of my...
I want a voucher! I want my... You're practically perfect, so...
Their lack of chemistry is implied when Harper, Aubrey Plaza, interrupts Ethan Will Sharp. Valentina, Sabrina Impacciatore, is irritated when Dominic Michael Imperioli registers her and Mia Beatrice Granor as visitors after having an affair with Lucia Simona Tabasco. While charging clothes and drinks to Dominic's room, Lucia and Mia have pleasure at the hotel.
Please don't make me regret this.
No.
Grazie. And a princess lives there.
Right, yeah, of course. I remember you're half Puerto Rican.
Mi serve una firma.
In her romantic Italian ideal, Tanya, Jennifer Coolidge, rents a Vespa to drive with Greg John Greaves. Greg informs Tanya that evening that he has to go back to the United States for work. Tanya, convinced that Greg no longer loves her, breaks down in tears. After lunch with Dominic, Bat, F. Murray Abraham, and Albie Adam DeMarco, Portia Holly Lou Richardson accepts Bat's invitation to take a tour of Taormina's historic theater. Bat keeps making crude comments and humiliating Dominic, which makes the tour unpleasant. Cameron, Theo James, and Daphne make them fey boast about their ex-life throughout dinner, which irritates Ethan and Harper once more. When Mia runs across Giuseppe Federico Scribani Rossi once again, she chooses to demonstrate her abilities by singing and playing the piano, to which she is greeted with acclaim. In addition, Bat confronts Dominic about his adultery and chastises him for failing to adequately protect his wife from it, as Bat purportedly did. Albie tells Portia during dinner that major reason Dominic's mother and sister did not go to Italy with them was because of his many infidelity. Portia talks about her history, even though she and Tanya have a non-disclosure agreement. Portia is hesitant to accept Albie's love interest, claiming he is too passive, but she agrees to let him kiss her when he asks. Harper confides in Eden that her interaction with Cameron caused her to re-evaluate her course of action, and she vows to spend more time with him while on vacation. He claims to be exhausted when she suggests having an affair. Lucia and Mia pay Dominic a visit that evening. Dominic ultimately agrees to their offer, even though he wants to curb his romantic addiction. When Tanya wakes up, she sees Greg whispering, "I love you," to unidentified caller.
Sti cazzi. Non so.
I want his approval.
Which is totally normal and.
Okay, that's for you guys.
Hi. How'd you sleep? Come to the buffet?
Sure.
Then you should have come in.
How you doing?
Something, and now you come somewhere like.
Honey, come on. I already said it.
Unless you want to come.
For some reason, there was a lot of noise.
I don't.
No, you're coming.
Me.
The car was rigged.
Solid days of the patriarchy.
Following their evening together, Dominic, played by Michael Imperioli, orders Mia Beatrice Grano and Lucia Simona Tabasco out of his chamber. But F. Murray Abraham sees them departing as they do. Dominic requests that he refrain from speaking to Albie, Adam DeMarco, after he informs him that he is aware of their night. Harper Aubrey Plaza makes the decision to be more upbeat with Ethan, Will Sharp, Cameron, Dear James, and Daphne, Megan Faith, in order to demonstrate her ability to be playful and impulsive. She consents to accompany Daphne to Noto for the day, but is taken aback when Daphne discloses that they will be spending the night at a palace. Cameron, who goes jet skiing with Ethan, is equally irritated by this information. Recalling her remarks, after becoming more forceful, Albie demands that a reluctant Portia, Hallelujah Richardson, accompany him and his family on a day excursion. But soon after the vacation begins, Jennifer Coolidge discovers that Tanya calls her back to the hotel. Tanya sees a tarot reader after Greg, John Kreese, depart, and the reader informs her that Greg is in love with another woman and that her insanity will cause her to commit suicide. Tanya becomes irritated by this and ends the session. She spots an enigmatic man, Tom Hollander, looking at her at the bar.
Ow! I'm gonna have an edible.
I'm fine with it.
That evening, Dominic informs Lucia that he wants to kick his addiction and that he will never be able to see her again. After Portia spots a young Englishman, Leo Woodall, while she lounges by the pool, Albie approaches her and gives her an unexpected kiss before escorting her back to her room. While they are eating, Cameron attempts to convince Ethan to cheat on Harper by saying that everyone does. He also tries to get him to invest in his business. Lucia and Mia show interest in them and approach them.
You guys,
You have to pay for it. I mean, Ethan's not a nerd, but.
Yes, he is.
Daphne tells Harper at the palazzo that she is aware that Cameron cheats on her frequently, but she chooses to focus on what she has to do to feel better rather than let it bother her. Later, Cameron and Eden host a party at Mia and Lucia's quarters. Eden politely declines Mia's advances and exits the room as Cameron and Lucia engage in intimacy. Harper tries to contact Eden, but he doesn't pick up.
We just drank a lake.
That's all I got right now.
Due rose.
Okay, good luck.
Breakfast, you want to join?
Cameron, Tia James wakes Lucia, Simona Tabasco, and Mia Beatrice Grano. After they have had fun, he pledges to provide them the remaining funds in the upcoming days because he is unable to pay their entire price. After consuming MDMA, Ethan Will Sharpie feels hungover and chooses not to discuss the previous night with Harper. Aubrey Plaza, a condom wrapper, is in their room when she gets back. Quentin Tom Hollander, an affluent gay Englishman who resides in Palermo, approaches Tanya, Jennifer Coolidge. He asks her and Portia Hallelujah Richardson to join his pals Didia, Bruno Guerri, Matteo, Francisco Zecca, and Hugo Paolo Camilli for a get-together. Additionally, Portia is introduced to Jack Leo Woodall, Quentin's nephew, whom she had met at the pool. This irritates Adam DiMarco's character Albie. Albie spends the day with Lucy after meeting her and becoming friends without realizing she works as a prostitute. Inspired to pursue a career in music, Mia approaches Giuseppe Federico Scribani Rossi and offers to have intimacy with him in exchange for his assistance. They go have an affair in a chapel. Mia leaves to acquire Viagra from Lucia since Giuseppe is incapable of having intimate relationship, but she unintentionally takes MDMA out of her suitcase instead. After giving Giuseppe the tablet, he eventually passes out and is driven away in an ambulance. Harper questions Ethan about spending the night by himself with Cameron. They meet Cameron and Daphne Megan Faye for supper after he sidesteps her inquiries. Albie sees Portia and Jack sharing a kiss at the pub. Sensing his jealousy, Lucia gives him a kiss to encourage him to take revenge on Portia. While Lucia engages Albie in a kiss in his chamber, Portia and Jack depart to engage in intimate relationships.
I haven't done anything, okay?
What were you doing? Were you just watching?
Well, I didn't tell you everything, yeah.
To say the-
Don't make a bigger deal out of this than it is, please.
It's 2,000 for overnights. No. You didn't know?
Yeah.
I like you.
I like you too.
When Ethan Will Sharp wakes up, Harper Aubrey Plaza leaves the condom wrapper beside the bathroom sink. She claims to have discovered it on the couch when he questions her about it. When he eventually opens up about partying, he admits that he was having relations with two hookers with Cameron, Theo James. Ethan claims he never had any relationship with any of the girls, even though one of them tried to kiss him when he was intoxicated and high on MDMA. Harper accepts his apologies, even though she's upset because he lied. Albie Adam DiMarco, who was not aware that Lucia Simona Tabasco was a prostitute until after they had an affair, is asked to pay her. He asks Dominic Mike Imperioli whether he may go to the bank, and Dominic informs him that he is interested in Lucia and that she should avoid Albie because he had slept with her before. Harper hints at what will happen that night when Ethan and Harper accompany Cameron and Daphne Megan Faye on a wine tasting excursion close to Mount Etna. Ethan brings up mimetic desire during their conversation, believing that Cameron intended to demonstrate his superiority by seducing every girl Ethan was interested in while in college. Ethan claims he had no other option when Cameron expresses his frustration at having to inform Harper about their evening. Harper humiliates Ethan by talking about women in her life while intoxicated at dinner. Sensing Harper's attention, Cameron grabs her thighs behind the table, but Harper silently swats him away. Tanya, Jennifer Coolidge accepts Quentin's Tom Hollander invitation to stay in his Palermo home, as does Portia Hallelujah Richardson. Tanya is taken by Quentin to the Teatro Massimo to witness a performance of Madama Butterfly, while Portia and Jackie Woodall depart to tour the town. Dominic eventually confides in Pat F. Murray Abraham during dinner, accusing him of being self-centered and blaming Pat's indiscretions for his illness. Pat denies this and maintains that he and his late wife, Dominic's mother, were in love. Mia Beatrice Grano attempts to convince Valentina Sabrina Impacciatori to engage her as the new lounge pianist while Giuseppe is away. Mia assumes she is a lesbian and offers to trade intimacy for the job when she declines. Valentina ultimately lets Mia play under the pretext of assisting a lady at least while Giuseppe heals. Lucia is contacted by a man while out with Albie. She says it's Alessio, her pimp, but she won't say more. Even though Lucia stated she doesn't want payment from Albie, they go back to his room to have an affair. Tanya wakes up that night and chooses to take a walk around the home. She finds herself in a room where Jack and Quentin are having a relationship. Startled, she stealthily departs.
We haven't?
There
was no cheating. There was no.
You guys did something bad when we were in Noto.
Ooh. When I see you, I see a young... There were some strange noises.
Sta per me? Per Lucia Greco?
Ti andasse di andare a bere un bicchiere.
Why are you talking to those hookers?
After Harper, Aubrey Plaza humiliates him by talking about their private lives in front of Cameron, Tia James, and Daphne McAfee. Ethan Wilshire confronts Harper. As they talk about how unattracted they are to one another, Harper asks Eden whether he still wants her. In addition, Harper witnesses Lucia, Simone Tabasco, and Mia Beatrice Grano confronting Ethan since neither he nor Cameron have paid for their services in full. Albie, played by Adam DiBacco, proposes that Lucia serve as their interpreter before Dominic, played by Michael Imperioli but played by F. Murray Abraham, and Albie departs to see their family in their ancestral town of Testa del Acque. Lucia joins the family after pausing for a moment to talk to a hotel staff member. While traveling, Lucia observes that Alessio is pursuing them. Lucia consents to accompany him as she doesn't want to start a fight. When the De Grassos encounter their Italian family without their interpreter, they are met with distrust and animosity. When they get back to the resort, Bart compliments Mia on her piano skills. After the show, Valentina, Sabrina, and Pascitori, who is celebrating her birthday alone, accepts Mia's offer and have sex in one of the empty guest rooms after learning that Isabella, a concierge she was interested in, is engaged to Rocco. Ethan is more certain that Harper has cheated on him as she sees her flirting with Cameron. Lucia visits Albie and tells him that she owes Alessio money. When Quentin Tom Hollander throws a party at his house, he introduces Tanya Jennifer Coolidge to Niccolo Stefano Giannino, his cocaine supplier, who Tanya observes is armed and whom he suggests is employed by the mafia. Before having an affair with Niccolo, Tanya, who is intoxicated and under the influence of cocaine, sees an old picture of Quentin with a guy who looks like her husband, Greg. In another scene, Portia Hallelujah Richardson grows weary of Jack's Lee Woodard inebriated antics. According to Jack, Quentin and his buddies have already spent all their money on their indulgences, but they will shortly get some additional funds. He subtly suggests that Quentin saved him from a dangerous situation.
Ooh, nice. He was gonna have to sell, cause you ain't never been in a fucking hole like that.
Has anyone seen Portia? Piaciuto ieri notte.
Yogurt? Jesus.
You can't throw you.
50,000 euros. You're just gonna go through life trying to rescue every... I could never...
And I'll help you with Mom.
Non è che hai pensato... Però ti devo rispedire in spiaggia.
I came in here last night.
Following their romantic encounter, Albie proposes that Lucia accompany him back to Los Angeles. Albie approaches Dominic, Michael Imperioli, for the £50,000 she says she owes Alessio after she says she still owes him money. When Dominic first declines, he tells Albie that Lucia is obviously fooling him. Albie acknowledges this and advises that Dominic still makes the karmic payment for his years of infidelity. Dominic gives him the money because Albie says he will make an appeal to his mother on his behalf if he pays. Tanya, Jennifer Coolidge, revisits the picture she had seen of a young Quentin Tom Hollander with a guy who looks like her husband Greg in Quentin's palace in Palermo. Quentin claims that Steve is in this picture and the two of them leave on his yacht to head back to Taormina. After Jack Lee Wooda calls Portia his job. Portia Harley Lou Richardson wakes up to discover her phone gone and becomes more suspicious of him. Using Jack's phone, she is able to call Tanya and inform her that she is afraid. After Tanya tells her that she witnessed Quentin having relations with Jack and about the photo she discovered at Quentin's house, she concludes that Quentin and Greg are planning Tanya's murder and using her money to support Quentin's extravagant lifestyle. Jack is confronted by Portia on his relationship with Quentin and his deception. Jack promises to bring her back to Taormina, but instead he takes her to Catania, Fontana Rosa Airport, and wants her not to go back for her own safety. As she leaves, he throws her mobile phone out of the car. Valentina Sabrina Impacciatore fires Giuseppe Federico Scribani Rossi after he returns from the hospital and hires Mia Beatrice Grano as the result's new singer and pianist. Although Mia says she had a good time with Valentina that evening, she advises her to obtain a companion so she can show her other places and people. Valentina gladly concurs. At the beach, Ethan meets Daphne Megan Faye and tells her that he believes Harper and Cameron had an affair. Daphne informs him that he may decide not to be a victim after first appearing upset. She takes him to a remote location. Albie notifies Lucia that her loan has been settled. Ethan and Harper and Albie and Lucia enjoy intense kissing that night while Mount Etna explodes. His wife answers the phone when Dominic calls her. When he returns to town, she advises him to give her a call. When Tanya learns that Niccolo will be returning to shore in a dinghy on Quentin's boat, she starts to fear. She locks herself in Niccolo's bedroom and appears to validate her suspicions when she finds a rope, duct tape, and a revolver in his bag. Tanya steals the gun and murders Niccolo, Quentin, and his companions when he tries to force the door. Tommaso, the ship's frightened captain, runs away, leaving Tanya alone aboard the boat with no means of guiding it to the land. She slips and hits her head when she attempts to enter the dinghy, falling unconscious and drowning in the water. Lucia leaves a sleeping Albie in the room the next morning. Daphne finds Tanya's corpse while swimming. Her body and others discovered on the boat are retrieved by the authorities. The Spillers and Sullivans wait for the flight home at the airport. Harper and Ethan have a lot more fondness for one another while they wait for the planes home. A disguised Portia bumps into Albie. Tanya isn't picking up her phone. According to Portia, Albie reports that many dead were recovered aboard a boat and that a visitor was discovered drowning. Albie and Portia trade phone numbers. In Taormina, Lucia and Mia celebrate their successful swindle by cheerfully greeting the hotel employee who pretended to be Lucia's pimp as they go down the street.